Oh, you didn't know? Well, your ass better call somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Smuvie Man Entertainment presents Welcome to the Show. I'm your host, Smoothie Man Bruce Wayne, a.k.a. Smooth Money Mayweather, the Paper Chaser. Holla at your boy. And welcome to the show.
I came in to take game over, eating everything, no leftovers. I pulled up with all my soldiers. Boss that is one word is over. In my hood, they treat me like Hover. Pressure, I apply pressure. Pressure, I apply pressure. Pressure, I apply pressure. I'm out there, throw sign letting off. 100 car, I'm about to let it off.
Yo. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about today. We got the suspect Lakers we're gonna be talking about. We're gonna be talking about LeBron James and the Stewart incident that happened over the weekend. We got the Power Rangers we're gonna be going over with. Also, shouts out to Terrence Crawford for TKO and Porter Jr. It was a good match. Went up to about the 10th round. Porter Jr. dad ended up stopping the fight. It wasn't looking too good for him. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I feel for him because I'm a father. You wouldn't want your son to get beat up like that. Like it wasn't looking too good. But like I said, we got a lot to talk about. Stay tuned, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick this off by let's talk about some power rankings who I got in my top, I'll say top 5, top 10 power rankings. This is what ESPN got. I'm just gonna bring off what they got. And I'm gonna say mine because I don't like how they do things anyway. ESPN, Sports Illustrated. I don't understand how they get their numbers or how they project people above other people and stuff like that. But ESPN got Golden State sitting at number one, and I agree with that. I agree. I totally agree with that because they are the best in basketball. They're 15-2. They're doing a spectacular job without Clay and without James Wiseman. Um, Curry's put on a spectacular show once again, even with all the rule changes, even with all the I don't know if everybody been paying attention to this. A lot of players been complaining about the basketball. Even with all that, they're still dominating. Also too, Draymond Green ended up coming out saying that he's found the love for the game again, and I agree with him. He should be so far defensive player of the year. That's so far. If like we would have end the season now, I would give it to Draymond. Um, Also, Curry's, I believe he's second or third in all in scoring category. I think Kevin actually got him. I think Kevin's 29 and Curry's 28. So it's not really too far off. But like I said, you're still doing this with all these new pieces. And you're doing this with Clay out and James Wiseman out. And you add in all these new pieces and you're still on top, 15-2. Very, very good start. Very good start. You know what I'm saying? Very good start. This upcoming week, they're gonna have Philly, they're gonna have Portland, and they're gonna be at the LA Clippers. Like I said, I like them. I got them ranked number one in my power rankings. Now moving on, we got Philly. Now I definitely put Philly in number two just because they're on a 12-game winning streak. Before they was on a 10-game winning streak prior to the weekend coming. They rolling in the weekend. They're on the 12-game winning streak. Like, no, I'm sorry. They're on the 12-game winning streak and they're 13-3. I mean, the win against the Nuggets on Sunday night, you know what I'm saying? Even though I know Jokic didn't play, and a lot of people who actually wrote them off going into the season because they really didn't do anything spectacular. Their center hasn't really came up with they haven't struck a deal on his contract. So a lot of speculations with that he was going to come in playing not up to his potential, stuff like that. I mean, Devin Booker was hit with COVID at the beginning, so they was on a little landslide with that. But I mean, 12 game win streak, like I said, you gotta love what they're doing. You gotta love what they're doing. I love what they're doing. If you know one of my first couple episodes, I was a big Chris Paul fan. I would say that he should have been MVP. Like the things that he did when he first got there is to me spectacular. Granted, I know what you're gonna say. Well, Jay, they was in the bubble, so they were doing good stuff. Yeah, that was in the bubble. I write that whole bubble like a big asterisk. I don't care what no one says. That's a big asterisk in my eyes. Because when you're during the regular season, it was momentum. Certain teams they were on their stride. They were going along with the show. Momentum. When you cut that out, and a lot of players didn't want to go to the bubble. A lot of players weren't even working on their game. Excuse me. A lot of players weren't working on their game. Phoenix, Portland. I mean, it was teams like that were just like beating teams. Didn't lose a game in the bubble. But that was the bubble. And technically, if the season had kept on going on, Phoenix wouldn't even have made it into the playoff or play-in tournament or any of that. But when Chris Paul got there, he changed the show. You know what I'm saying? You got a floor general out there that can pass, assist, that know when to take the game over, when need to be taken over. We saw that during the regular season. I mean, we saw that during the playoffs. So, like I said, I got them ranked number 2. They got them ranked number 2. Now, this is where I get a little flip-floppy or whatever. I got Chicago over the Brooklyn Nets. ESPN got Brooklyn Nets over Chicago. Brooklyn Nets 3, Chicago 4. Now, this is me personally, man. I think we get into this notion, like I be hearing this, like these excuses that certain teams get, like Lakers, oh, they got new people, they gotta figure it out. Okay, what about Chicago? What about teams like Chicago? Like, you have DeMar Rosen, you have Alex Crusoe, you have Ball, and there's another person that I'm missing. I believe they got him from Orlando. That's like 4 new players that they got. 4 new players. Where was Chicago last year? They weren't even in the play-in tournament. They weren't even sniffing that. Now they're 12-5. They're playing like spectacular ball. Like, I mean, you got 2 good defenders in Ball and Alex Crusoe, like hustling, deflecting, stealing ball. You got 2 high-flying, mid-range, 3-point shooting like people that you got on your team from Zach LaVine and DeMar Rosen. Now, it's 2 teams I did like during the offseason when we was talking about trades and we was talking about signing. Miami was number 1 because I'm a Kyle Lowry fan. I was like, when they got Kyle Lowry, I thought, okay, I think that was going to put them up on another echelon level. Then you turn over, you be like, man, Chicago got Alex Caruso. That was a scrappy guy for the Lakers that could hit you a good 3 when you need it. That's energy off the bench. I mean, it's nothing more I can say about that. Say about him. Then you got Lonzo Ball that has dramatically improved his game from his rookie career to now. I mean, it's no question that I would want him to hit a shot. It's no question that I believe if it came down to it, who will be one of the people? Like, if hypothetically we couldn't get the ball to Zach or we couldn't get the ball to DeRozan, could he be a third option to shoot the ball from a 3-point? Oh, of course. Of course. We welcome that. We welcome that. And then on top of that, since he's been in the league since college, he has been a defender. Long, wide, wingspan. I mean, that scrap with you, that don't back down. I mean, we take that. We like that. I mean, I think Chicago should be over Brooklyn just for the unexpected expectations from this team. Like, let's be honest. Did any of y'all see this coming from Chicago when this team was assembled? I bet y'all didn't. Maybe it's a handful of y'all, but I bet y'all didn't expect this. Not to be sitting at 12-5, um, which is probably the best record in the West right now. And it is. They're sitting at 12-5, 2-game winning streak over Brooklyn. They're tied with 2-5, and they got a 2-game winning streak. And I believe that's pretty much why they got them sitting above them, just because it's the Brooklyn Nets. After that, I do have, and also too, this upcoming win, they got Indy, they got Houston, they got Orlando, and Miami. I see a win in Indy. I see definitely a win in Houston because they're on a 14-game losing streak, and Orlando's at the bottom of the barrel. So the 2 games in the middle are definitely easy. The Miami game is going to be a tough one. It's going to be definitely a tough one. The only thing with Chicago that I feel like they may need another bigger man. Like, I believe their tallest person is only 6'10". So, with that being said, I think they need to get another big person. Nobody spectacular that, no, it ain't got to be no blockbuster name, but it could be somebody that we forgot about. Like, I would like it, and I know it ain't going to happen because he's on a whole nother different team, but if they could make a trade for him, would you do it? I would want somebody like McGee. I think you don't have to have him out there on the floor. That's why I say you don't need a big time person. You just need somebody out there that can get you maybe 15 to 20 minutes coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? As long as he gives you 10 points, 8 to 10 rebounds, you know what I'm saying? And then gives you some blocks here and there. And it's really just to defend the rim. It's not really necessarily worrying about rebounding. It's the defending the rim and, you know what I'm saying, making people think twice because you got great perimeter defense. And if you got interior defense, boy, they will be insane to stop. And when it gets down to them later games in the playoffs, oh, it's going to be hard for teams to keep up with that type of defense if they're going to be scrappy, you know what I'm saying, clawing, fighting. So let them claw and fight also too in the paint. Now, I did get a suggestion from somebody, a brother that I work with, shouts out to Reggie Jackson. He said, and I do agree with this, on top of that, he said they would need someone like a Morris type person. Not necessarily Morris, the Morris brothers, not necessarily like them, but someone that plays their type of style. A power forward that can spread the floor out, that will clear some more of the lanes out, and also could defend. So you got a person that can spread the floor out, that can shoot the 3, and you can also defend inside the paint and get a rebound. So I would say a mixture, if that person can be like a Morris slash Draymond in a way, that can defend like Draymond, shoot like one of the Morris brothers, and move the ball up like Draymond. So that way, if it comes into a drive and kick situation, you can drive the kick to Alex, you can drive the kick to Lonzo, you can drive the kicks to Levine. You know what I'm saying? And then that also keeps that lane open for DeRozan to do his damage in the mid-range game. So, you know, that's number 5 for me. Let's moving on. Number 3 for me. We got the Brooklyn Nets. I do believe they should be number 4. They're playing good basketball, like here and there, stuff like that. I don't believe that people believe that this is where they should be. They lost to the Warriors on Tuesday. beat Cleveland, who you should beat Lando, who you should beat. So those are 2-game winning streaks. I mean, right now, besides Golden State, they had played bums until they had lost to Chicago. Chicago beat them Monday, November the 8th. That's another reason why Chicago should be up above Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got the same record. Like you're 12-5, 2-game winning streak. You didn't beat Chicago. That should count in something. That should count. And like I said, you beating bums after that. Lando, bum. Pelicans, bums. Thunders, bums. You got smacked by the Warriors. You beat Cleveland, bum. And you came back and you beat Orlando, bum. And you got Cleveland tonight, bum. So it's nothing spectacular. It's nothing spectacular that, it's nothing spectacular. Now, November the 30th, they got the Knicks. After that, we'll skip past December the 3rd, they got Timberwolves. But then you turn around, Saturday, December the 4th, you got Chicago, and you got Dallas on December the 7th. Now, you start beating more of these, like I said, you start beating more of some of these better teams, then I can give you more of a praise. But other than that, my dude, you beating bums, bro. Like, and there's no offense to none of these teams, but we all know what it is. Orlando's bum. They're sitting at the bottom of the barrel, my dude, next to Detroit. 4-13, two-game losing streak. Nothing impressive. Nothing impressive. I'm nothing impressive. See, with a lot of these NBA analysts or sports people that talk, they like to wave over that type of notion. Like, they on this, they doing pretty good this week, da-da-da-da-da, they beating teams, da-da-da-da, but they beating bums. Thunder. They're ranked number 11th right now on the 2-game losing streak. Come on, bro. 6-10. Pelicans, 3-15. Sitting 14th spot. Then they got the Rockets sitting at 1-15, 14-game losing streak. I mean, the only win they got is against the Lakers. So I'm not praising. I believe it was the Lakers. I may be wrong about that. Don't quote me. After that, we got the Utah Jazz. They're on a 3-game winning streak, sitting at 11-5. It's not much I can really say about them because I have not really caught a lot of their games. But the Utah bench is fishing the top 2 finisher in last year's season. 6th man of the year voted, got significant deeper and more experience with Rudy Gay after missing the first month while recovering from heel surgery. Gay started his Jazz debut scoring 20 points on 5 for 6 from 3 in 18 minutes during Thursday win over the Raptors. They'll have Memphis, OKC, New Orleans, and then New Orleans back-to-back. The only team I would give them is Memphis, even though they're sitting 8-8 right now. They're sitting at the 9th spot. That's the only team that's really probably would be a challenge for them. But the last 2 teams, OKC and New Orleans, back-to-back. Now, remember I said there's 2 teams I like during the trade, and it was Miami. Now, Miami's been hit with a little bit of injuries with Hero. I think he was having back problems at one point. But I like this. I like this team. I mean, I'm a Jimmy Buckets fan. I like Bam. I like Hero. I like Robinson. And then you add Kyle Lowry to the mix, and you got a good defensive front squad. So it's going to be interesting how the season progress with them and how the season is going to go for them when they hit the playoffs. Because you got a team that can scrap like that and it's gonna claw and get in your face. I like that. The only thing about it is too that I don't believe that they're high in deep blocks, you know, and stuff like that. But regardless, I got the number six. I got the number six. 11 and 6. And going down to it, we got. I'm gonna put the Clippers up there. They got Washington. And they really don't. They got Clippers ranked 12. I'm gonna put the Clippers up there after the Miami Heat. For them to be doing what they're doing with no Kawhi, no Serge Ibaka, um, let's just put a little respect on their what they got going on. All right, so let's go on back to it. What they're doing. We all know Kawhi's been out. He's scheduled to turn sometime later on in the season. He had he recovered from his ACL tear. We got Morris out, you know what I'm saying, with the whiplash he had. Batum went out on health protocol. And I think Serge Ibaka just recently came back. He's not on the injury report list. And Jason Portion is out as well. Underwent surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. Significant part of the season. So what they're doing, I think is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? You don't have one of your key stars. Serge Ibaka just came back. Batum is out. Morris Senior is out. So I like them at number 10. You know, they're rising to the top. Because at one point they were like 12. Now they're 10-7. I think their peak is going to rise in these next couple games coming up because they got they're gonna have Dallas. That's gonna be a tough game. You got Detroit, you got Golden State. So I'm looking at potentially 2 losses that can happen. I mean, because Golden State ain't no joke, but that's gonna be a tough game. So where we sitting at? So far, we got Golden State, Phoenix Suns, we got Chicago, Brooklyn, Utah Jazz, Miami, and we got the LA Clippers. Now, going into it, this one's going to be a little bit probably controversial because where they're ranked. They're 9-8. Now, Milwaukee Bucks. Chris Middleton was hit with COVID, returned, you know what I'm saying, from testing positive. Portis Jr. is back-to-back, double-double, and Drew Holiday has started to find his footing in defensively. Meanwhile, Giannis has been consistently dominant, averaging 27 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists in this month. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument that Chris Middleton didn't get COVID. I know Drew Holiday had to leave the game number 1. And for the teams they're about to face this week, Orlando, Detroit, Denver, and Indy, I see all potential wins. All potential wins because Indy doesn't have TJ Warner out there, so that's going to be a loss for them. As far as not loss in the game, but loss for them as a good player. To me, Chris Middleton being out, it should have proven to people how valuable Chris Middleton really is for that team. Real talk. Real talk. Chris Middleton, as of right now, is giving you 18 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. You know, a career. Now, career, he's averaging 16 points. During the regular season right now, he's having 18 points. He's free throws, he's shooting 82%. Three, he's shooting 31%. Field goals, he's shooting 41%. I mean, I like it. He's very valuable, man. I don't want to hear this notion that he's not a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he's definitely a star. He's definitely valuable, and it hurt them when he was out. It showed in their record. So, like I said, we got the Bucks sitting right after that, baby. Right after the Clippers. And probably by next week they're going to be even higher. Now, ESPN got them ranked number 9. In between those two teams, Washington Wizards is ranked number 7, Denver Nuggets ranked number 8, and Milwaukee's ranked number 9. I'm going to keep Milwaukee where they at, and then Washington Wizards. Another unexpected team, but I think they about to hit their wall. Maybe. I think they're going to hit their wall coming up soon, but the next 4 games is not too shabby. They got Chicago, New Orleans, OKC, and Dallas. Definitely see 2 wins, possible 2 losses. Definitely see 2 wins, possible 2 losses. Coming from the Wizards. I think they're going to start toppling off real soon. They got Charlotte. I'm sorry, the Charlotte Hornets. It could be a potential loss. It could be a potential win. Because Charlotte's sitting at 5. They just lost a game. They're 10-8. Could possibly happen. We got any players sitting out? We got 3 players sitting out. Nobody that I recognize as big time. But I like Washington too. I just think they're going to topple off pretty soon, to be honest with you. But like I said, they got Charlotte, Pelicans, Thunder, Dallas is going to be their big stretch. That's going to be their tough game. So they may not. That's just depending on them if they can beat these bottom tier teams. I believe Hornets definitely going to give them a run for their money because Melo Ball's balling. I like the team. I like the team that they got. I really like that team. That's another team that I do like. Denver, I feel like they're going to be falling off just because Porter Jr., man. Porter Jr. is dealing with a back problem. And they don't know if he may have to get surgery on his back. And that's big, man. That's big. Jokic is out. Believe it's his wrist, questionable for the Tuesday game against the Trailblazers. Of course, you got, like I said, Michael Porter Jr. back dealing with a back issue, and he's been having back issues since college. You know, and of course, Jamal Murray's still been out. Like, they at least got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players out, and right now you got Portland and Milwaukee. Portland and Milwaukee coming up. Now, I believe the best thing for them is that last game they played was yesterday. They'll play tomorrow and then play Friday. So that's Tuesday. So you got today to rest. You got you got Portland that's been up and down, and then you got Milwaukee that's on the rise. Miami Heat, you got Orlando Knicks, but like I said, tomorrow Portland, so you got at least one day to rest Jokic if he does play. But that's just one person. Jamal Murray and Porter Jr. is sitting out, and that's not a good look. And Porter Jr. has not been playing too good this season. On top of that, because of the back issues, he ended the season last year with having some back problems in the playoffs. And as the season has gone on this year, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. And since he's been here, he's been averaging 14 points, 6 rebounds, shooting 51% from the field as this is career-wise. So, one thing I was reading this article, one thing about Denver is just that the article said, are they cursed? Ever since they got Eric Gordon, it's just been like, shoo. It was like the first 10 games or the first 2 games, they were just on a stride. Then all of a sudden they just begin hit with injuries after injuries after injuries after injuries after injuries. So the real question is, man, like, is this a curse? Are they still gonna be in the play-in tournament? Are they gonna start falling off? Time will tell with this team. Time will tell with this team. And that's why I go back to what I said earlier with these NBA analysis and stuff like that, all these predictions and stuff like that. Like, a lot of these teams are going to fall off just because of injuries. And we're going to see who is going to peak, who is not going to peak, and who is going to fall off. And I believe they're going to definitely be one of the teams to fall off just because of the injuries. Just because of the injuries. All right, moving on. Moving on. We got one more we gonna put in there. We got one more we gonna put in there. Who is it? Who is number 10? Who is number 10? Ooh, this spot is so hard. I'm going to put. I had it all written down. I left my bag. I left my book at home. I left my book at the job. But anyway, I'm gonna put Dallas in there. I believe that was the team that I had. I'm gonna put Dallas in there. Just because where they're ranked, and I feel like I really should put Charlotte. And matter of fact, I probably am gonna put the Charlotte Hornets because Dallas is on a 3-game losing streak. So we're gonna take that back. They got beat by the Phoenix Suns 2 times. And the Clippers. And they got the Clippers again tomorrow. Dub, 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 dub for the other teams. Especially with Luka being out. He's questionable against the Tuesday game against Clippers. That's just a big person right there without even saying nothing. Like, that's your total. That's really like your offense, you know? But this would be the time for Porzingis to shine. But we'll see. This will be the time for Porzingis to shine, but I see them not at number 10. So like I said, I'm going to put the Charlotte Hornets up there. The Mavericks are 0-3 since Luka went down with left knee and ankle sprain. Yeah, old boy had fell on his knee. The silver lining, Basinga has continued to score effectively, averaging 25 points on 52, 40, 92 shooting, splitting over the past 7 games. Their hope that Luca, who was ruled out on Sunday's loss as a pre-game workout, will be able to return on Tuesday rematch against the Clippers. All in due time. All in due time. That's why I couldn't break them number 10 over Charlotte. I think Charlotte's just a little bit of a team right now. I believe even Philly, I feel like Philly should be up higher too. It's just that they've been losing games too. You know, they hit a plateau. They hit a plateau. That at one point it was at a 9-8, lost to Portland, beat Denver, lost to Utah Jazz, lost to Portland. Pacers, lost to the Raptors, lost to the Bucks, lost to the Knicks. So they hit a wall just because of injuries, COVID protocol. Ben Simmons still sitting out. But you know, that's my top 10. I'm not gonna go through all 30 teams. I feel like that's really not even necessary because once you start getting to the bottom of the barrel, some of these teams are garbage teams. They're not gonna rise any higher than what they are. They'll probably move up from what 15 to 14. Like they'll probably do some flip flops like that, especially in the West. Um, but yeah, that's my top 10, man. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment down below. Let me see what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? See if I'm tripping on some of these teams. Um, Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? On to the next. All right, all right. The topic of the day. The topic of the day. Like, since I've been at work, since I woke up this morning, since last night, the whole NBA media has been on this particular topic. The whole sports network has been on this particular topic. And I'm pretty sure if you're at work, you're talking to your homeboy, your homegirl who watches sports, they've been talking about this particular topic. And we're going to cover this particular topic. So, Detroit Pistons and the Los Angeles Lakers squared off last night. And two other players almost squared off. But we got LeBron James. They got it listed as elbow, but it wasn't no elbow. It was a hit, a closed fist to the face. Now, a lot of people are speculating and wanting to say, was it intentional? Should LeBron James be suspended? This is my opinion. This is my opinion. I watched the game, and to me, watching it live when it happened, it looked intentional as fuck. Like, Jay, how can you say that? How can I say that? At that time, it was 78 to 66. Detroit leading. Close to the end of the third quarter. LeBron James has been sitting on the sideline watching his team lose and lose and lose to bum teams, just like the Detroit Pistons. I can say that because I'm a Pistons fan. That's my team. And it is true. They're bums. They're bums. They're 4 and whatever. It don't even matter. Like, that game should not even been that close. Leading up to the fourth quarter, going in to the ending of the fourth quarter. Like, that game shouldn't even been that close. when you got LeBron, AD, Russell, Melo, DeAndre Jordan, all the other supporting cast you have on that team, is no way possible that that game should have been that close. And Detroit giving them a run for their money. They're a bad, bad team. And it's suspect. It's the title of the show. Suspect. The Lakers are suspect, man. And anybody that's sitting there like, this was a great win for them. Like Melo said, like at the end of the game, he says the game that they needed to win. Like that is technically true because, and technically not true in my eyes, because Detroit is a team that you're supposed to win. This ain't a team that you think that is going to give you a run for your money. No, this is a team that you were supposed to win. After the first quarter, it was 30-26. Second quarter was 30-41. Third quarter, 23-31. Now they took over in the fourth quarter, 37-17. Los Angeles Lakers. Now, tell me how this game should have been that close when you're shooting 48% from the field, 32 from field goal, 77 from free throw. Your total rebounds is 51-39. They had 12 offensive rebounds to their 8 rebounds, 8 blocks, 7 assists. So tell me, how is this game that close? That doesn't make any sense to me. The Detroit Pistons. So let's go back to it. I believe it was a frustration because how he moved LeBron, and I'm going to say that, he moved LeBron, and he was up on his heels. Oh, he was getting frustrated. He was frustrated, like this young little buck here. Oh, he gonna try to. No, so he swung. I believe it was intentional, out of frustration. I'm not saying that he intentionally did it like he just did it in frustration. Now, you can say what you want to. You say what you want to. You say what you want to. Then we get into this notion of, oh, Stewart didn't want no smoke, and I didn't even know this until when my partners hit me up on Facebook and he said this, that Stewart used to box. So, like I said, Stewart used to box. So this whole notion that he didn't want no smoke from LeBron, I find that to be all caps. All caps. Stewart is 6'8", 250 pounds. LeBron is sitting at, I believe, 6'9". 6'9". Probably around the same weight class. This is how I see it. We sitting here saying that Stewart didn't want no smoke. If he didn't want no smoke, why would he get in his face? This is how I feel like it played out. I get up, I'm walking to you, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck was that? Bron J said, yo, bro, I don't know what he said. Oh, AD said that LeBron said I didn't do it. That's what you're probably going to say to make LeBron look like he's good, because we don't know what he actually said. Like I said, I told my partner, I got to hear with Stewart, and I got to hear from LeBron. Until I hear from them, I'm not gonna speculate on what LeBron said. You know what I'm saying? Or some he say, she say stuff. We not playing those kind of cards here. But I'm just gonna say, I believe what he said did not sit well with him. And it's probably how he said it. He may have said, yo, I did not mean to do it, but it's probably his body language. It was probably his demeanor on how he said it. Then on top of that, you got players, coaches, referees swarming around you. Yo, I'm trying to get an understanding, my dude. Why you up on me? So that adds to the fuel. Then on top of the adrenaline is rushing. I don't fault Stewart for what he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Should he get suspended too? Now, history says for what LeBron did, it's between a 2 to 3 game suspension. Clear cut. Now, if he don't get no suspension, if he don't get suspended, then he really is the face of the league. Like, you got these dudes in your bag, my dude. Like, you got these dudes in your bag. Like, I could do no wrong in their eyes. I could do no wrong. But he played it off so well. He knew he did that. That's why he was like, oh, my bad, my bad, my bad. Because I tell you what, people be like, LeBron James ain't no dirty player, none of that. But he do slick shit. He do slick shit. If we can go back a couple years ago, I believe he just got traded to the Lakers, or he was still in Cleveland when this happened. They was at New York, and I think he had blocked a shot, or the point guard blocked the shot. I can't remember who he was. But LeBron was flexing his muscle all up in his face, throwing his hand up like this. I'm like, but that's a little man. That's a little man. We can sit here and say LeBron is, 6'9", 200 something pounds. That don't mean nothing. Does that mean you know how to throw hands? Does that mean that you want smoke? This man used to box. He grew up boxing. I'm pretty sure he was not scared of LeBron or anything in that nature. I believe, man, like he got up with the intent to be like, yo, bro, what the fuck was that? What was going on? He didn't like what LeBron had said. He didn't like how people was all up on him trying to separate it, because I'm trying to get understanding what the fuck is going on. Explain yourself. But since you ain't trying to explain yourself, you trying to be all nonchalant about it, I'm about to put these paws on you. You feel me? I'm about to put these paws on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this man is tackling over his own players, tackling over his own coaches, referees, you know what I'm saying, trying to get to this man. I don't believe that Stewart was scared, because people want to say too, like, oh, he only tried to turn up after the referees and all that stuff. But just remember, he got up in his face. He got up in his face. And as soon as he got up in his face, he had his hands reaching out. LeBron had his hand reaching out to be like, oh, no. Now, are you guys expecting for him to automatically getting up started to swing? Maybe he had a little restraint. Maybe it just didn't register in his brain that, bro, this just actually happened. Then you start to feel blood rushing from your face, from your lips. You feeling this on your face. Your adrenaline is rushing. You can't explain to me, like, what is going on? Like, what is this? And you're just, all you see is tunnel vision. I've been there before. You can be in a calm state, and then all of a sudden, you can go from 0 to 100 real quick. 0 to 100 real quick. He forgot everything. Hence him tackling over his own teammates, tackling over his own uh, coaches, referees, him running to the back, trying to meet LeBron in the tunnel and stuff like that. But I believe it was intentional because he was frustrated. I believe it definitely was intentional. You close your fist and swung at this man. He hit you right here. He pushed you all in there. You don't check up here towards the face. You down here. Frustration, bro. He overpowered you in the box out, and you swung because your whole body turned. It wasn't just like boom, an elbow. I probably could have saw the elbow, but your whole body turned, and you know you hit him, and that's why you was like, oh, oh, oh. I'm sorry, supposedly. But like I said, we got to hear from. I want to hear LeBron's side. I don't want to hear Stewart's side because it's all speculations. But even I'm going to speculate. Even I'm going to assume that what LeBron said and his body language, his demeanor, and how everything just people were already bum rushing them to. He lost it. He lost it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below because I believe LeBron should be spending 2 to 3 games. I'm going to say I don't think Stewart should get the same amount of games because I think at a certain point we got to realize that when stuff like that happens, how intense you can get, can you really fault the player? No, I really don't think so. I don't think you can really get fault the player. But I didn't think that was a good look to be trying to trample over teammates, coaches, referees. You know, and I'm not trying to say this to bring this up, but it could have been the same incident as the Palace in Auburn Hill, the massacre, that brawl. It could have been on that level. Because as you hear, the announcers were saying, yo, make sure y'all stay in your seat, don't throw none, don't do da, because they were making sure. They didn't want to have that same type of energy. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my 2 cents about it. Like I wanted to say, like, I'm not saying LeBron's dirty or nothing like that, but he definitely needs to get suspended. History has said it. He should be getting suspended. He the face of the league. I wouldn't be surprised they give him 1 game. You know, Fragrant 2 was it intentional? I believe it was, and that's not for me to say as far as how the suspension is going to go, but I believe they're probably going to just give him 1 game. I think he should get 2, and we leave it at that. Like I said, the Lakers are playing like trash, and it's unacceptable to me that we give always LeBron James teams these passes when it comes to like, oh, they got new players, they got to figure it out, blah, 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 blah. Other teams have new players. Other teams sign, trade new players. Like I said earlier, Chicago's got Alex Caruso, DeMar Rosen, Ball, and the brother from Orlando. It's 4 new players. Clippers is without certain players. They were out with Serge Ibaka. They were out with Kawhi. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even before Jamal Murray went down, I mean, Denver Nuggets playing without Jamal Murray, the second best player on the team. Now you got Portis Jr. out. Now you got Jokic out. Now let's just say hypothetically they still doing what they supposed to do. Are we still gonna say, but don't they got new players? Don't they got a cast of bench players coming off the bench and filling roles in? But we make these excuses for always for LeBron's teams. It's no. I don't want to hear this notion of, man, they got new players, it's a new team. I understand that. But you guys are professional NBA basketball player. Y'all were projected to be the number one favorite in the league. Y'all were projected to win the West. But it's always excuses. Always excuses when it comes to LeBron James teams. You got Westbrook. You got Melo. Like, you got the White. You got so many all-stars. Yeah, they're not in their prime. And a lot of their issues is turning the ball over and defense. You can't teach defense. Defense is effort. Now, that's on something that they got going on internally, mentally. They ain't got nothing to do with talent-wise. You have to put the effort out there to play defense. They ain't even got that. So I don't want to hear excuses of, they got a new team, but they trash at defense. It shouldn't take you to have a new team. They build chemistry to have good defense. You either gotta want it or you don't. Do you want it or you don't? Do you want it or you don't? One of the two. And the way they going, like I said, we shouldn't be on a high horse because they beat Detroit. We shouldn't be on no high horse because they beat Detroit, my dude. I'm just saying. Because if that's what's going to get your fuel to be fired, that they beat Detroit, we need to reevaluate what you guys really thinking. And that's just me personally. You had a cakewalk season. You had a cakewalk start to the season. Teams that you should be beating, you're not beating. Hence, suspect Lakers. You come out the gate, I mean, every team is 0-0, but we all knew that in our heads that Golden State weren't going to be not no top 5 team in the NBA, let alone no top 3 team in the NBA. But you get smacked by Golden State first game. You get smacked by Sacramento Kings, who just fired their coach before the weekend started. They just fired their coach. So that says a lot to me. Then turn around and get smacked again by the Warriors. Get smacked by Phoenix. And Devin Booker did play. I was going to see. I didn't know. I couldn't remember Devin Booker did play. And they slick almost lost to Memphis Grizzlies. If John Morant had made those 2 free throws, they probably would have been a different story. Barely beat the Spurs. Got smacked by OKC, which is at the bottom of the barrel in the West. 6-10, I believe. Let's get this correct. 6-10. You come out, you do beat the Cleveland. Good job. Barely beat the Rockets. You got the Rockets again. Barely beat them. Then turn around and get smacked again by the Thunder. Trailblazers even bitching. They were having a really rough start of the season. Tremendously rough start. You did beat the Hornets. Like, should beat. When you beat Cleveland, you should have beat them. When you beat the Spurs, you should have beat them. Even Memphis Grizzlies, you should beat them. But you barely almost beat them. Miami Heat, you did beat them. That was a good win. Then you turn around and get smacked by Timberwolves. You do beat the Spurs. You lose to Chicago. You lose to the Bucks. And you lose to the Celtics. And you lose badly to the Celtics. with no Jaylen Brown. Then after Marcus Smart made that comment about like the team, two superstars not passing the ball, like they smack you 130 to 108 and barely beat the Pistons. Now you got New York tomorrow, Pacers, Kings, Detroit. Like, look at this schedule. Look at this cakewalk schedule as I keep going down the list. Pistons again. Kings. Now, I'm expecting the Kings to lose again just because their coach ain't there. You got the Clippers. You got Celtics. You got Memphis. You got OKC again. Lando. It gets a little tougher. But a lot of them games, too, at the beginning of the season, they were at home. A lot of home games. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 home games. Went on the road one time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another. Then went on the road. Was on the road. 1, 2, 3. Then went on the road. I mean, they got a pretty cushy schedule for a team that's sitting at 9-9, my dude. And almost was sitting at 9-10. That's why I say suspect Lakers. And for the people that picked the Lakers, they picked them because of this soft-ass goddamn schedule that they got. Especially at the beginning of the season. Especially at the beginning of the season. It's no way. It's no way. I think they seriously need to do. Are they too old? Yeah. They got point guard problems with Russell? Of course they do. Like when you average damn near 20 turnovers a game, you know what I'm saying? And you barely can shoot threes. I don't see them being the favorite. Now the Perkins came out and said the Lakers haven't found a way. They're a new team. They got to find their stride and stuff like that. Of course, other teams got to find their stride too. We're about 20 games in. We're about 20 games in. A lot of other teams are going to find their stride. A lot of other teams are going to get a lot of players back from injuries and stuff like that. So certain teams don't get worse when they're already great. Now, will they peak? Yeah, but when you got players that's on the injury list, their peak, if their peak is here, and they got players sitting on the bench from injuries, I'm saying about this much of a jump from that. That's enough jump if you got teams that are down here. If they peak, they ain't gonna peak too high. They're not gonna peak too high. And then you think they're gonna overlap certain teams. I really don't believe that. I really don't believe that. Unless you just keep losing to these bum teams, you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna beat these bum teams? Cause like I said, man, a lot of them games that's upcoming, man, they should win. Suspect Lakers, bro. Suspect Lakers. That's all I'm saying. And I don't believe. I said this before. You trade away all that talent for one player, for one championship. Because I don't see them winning another championship. Not with that squad. Not with LeBron James getting up in age. You know what I'm saying? And there's other teams that are on the horizon. It may not be this year for certain teams. It may not even. It could be next year for certain teams. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of teams, rookies, sophomores, got to go through their growing pains, and it is what it is. Speak like the Houston Rockets. I think they got a lot of young talent on that team, and same thing with the Pelicans. They got a lot of talent on that team. I just don't understand why they're 3-15 as of right now. It's just, and I'm not gonna just say because they don't have Zion. They got enough on that team to do a little bit something, but a lot of they traded some players away. So, that definitely got something to do with it. I think they missing Lonzo out there. I think they had Eric Bledsoe at one point. And of course Zion's been in injury with his foot. He's starting to make me worry, and he's gonna be like a Greg Odom in a way that you even really see this young cat play. Like, we haven't even seen what close of what he can really do because he's keep getting hit with injuries after injuries after injuries, and it sucks. But a lot of teams gonna peak. I think Memphis Grizzlies is gonna be somewhat better, if not this year, next year. Nuggets with their hit with cursed injuries. Jokic, Jamal Moore, Porter Jr., Dallas, same thing, little hit injury, but they're all rising. Clippers, they're rising. Phoenix is still there. And I think if Lakers played any of them teams in the playoffs, you'll face Golden State Warriors right now. You're going to get beat. Phoenix Suns, I believe they got your number again. Let's just say for the sake of argument that Luka's back, and let's just say for the sake of argument that Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. is all healthy. All these teams are healthy. I think even with a healthy Lakers squad, they're going to get beat by any of them teams. And Trailblazers, I'm a Dame fan, but we're going to see. I'm a Dame fan. I'm going to keep them right there at 7th spot where they're sitting at. But hypothetically, if they were to face the Lakers, it'd be the answer if who will be able to stop LeBron, and Portland don't have nobody that can really contain them and don't have a person that can stop AD. So you always going to just be worried about CJ and Dame. Two good shooting guards is great, but that paint presence is spectacularly needed. A great small forward is most definitely needed. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching or listening to Welcome to the Show. For more episodes, make sure you subscribe here and also turn your bell notification so you don't miss out on another spectacular episode of Welcome to the Show.